Hi everyone, welcome. Bear with me while I click some buttons. There we go. So thank you for taking some time out of your night and joining me. And it's an honor to be with you tonight. You're welcome to take a minute and say hello in the chat. Hi, Joan. Hi, Aaron. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hope everybody had a good day. And if you're new here, my name is Natalie, and I'm a somatic healing and embodiment coach. Hi, Misty. Glad you're here. I'm based in Carmel, Indiana. And if you are returning, welcome back. It's good to be with you again. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Kelly. So this month we are exploring body-based boundaries. And tonight's session is called Listening to the Body, Creating Boundaries from Within. And this is a somatic healing space, so we're not here to analyze or fix anything. We're here to give space to our body and to listen and see what it has to say. So just a reminder to keep shares in the chat grounded in your present experience, anything you're noticing or sensing or feeling. And that way we can keep our space together, feeling safe for everyone. I want to take a moment to thank my friend Seba for tonight's music. And his work has been really meaningful for me. And if it resonates with you, I've included a link to his profile in the description. Hi, Joe from Ohio. And just to double check, you guys can hear the music, right? This is my second time using music, so I just want to make sure that you guys can hear it. Hi, Jewel. Welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin by arriving. You can get comfortable and lean back a little. Just take a moment, get settled in. Maybe noticing the surface you're resting on. Thank you, Misty. Welcome from Texas. Hi, Melissa. Let's take a deep breath together. It doesn't have to be deep, it can be gentle. Just start noticing your breath. If it feels okay, we'll start by taking a gentle scan through the body. Let's start by bringing awareness into your feet. Just noticing any sensation there. Moving up into your legs. Your hips. And your seat. Really just let your body be supported. Bringing awareness into your belly. Your chest. Into your shoulders. Noticing if there's anywhere holding tension or effort. Moving awareness down into your arms. Your hands. Moving awareness back up into your neck. Your jaw. Your face. Letting your face soften, even just a little. And as you're here, just beginning to notice what happens in your body when we bring up the topic of boundaries. Is there anywhere in your body that feels slightly uncomfortable? Or tight? Or a sense of holding? Nothing you need to change, or just noticing. Becoming curious if that place could speak. What might it say? Maybe you haven't felt worthy enough to set boundaries, to take up space, to have a voice. Or maybe you're scared you'll lose connection. Maybe there's a part of you also asking for space. Or rest. Or for something to shift. Or even a quiet no. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just beginning to notice where your body might be holding something. Or tolerating something. Just asking for something different. Most of us were never taught how to recognize boundary from within. We were taught how to be good or be polite, be agreeable, keep the peace. And in that process, many of us learn to override what our body is saying. And our body is always communicating. Tightness, contraction, or fatigue. Or a sense of pulling back. Or that quiet no that we ignore. For many people, this shows up most strongly in close relationships. especially in family dynamics, where those patterns were first learned. And let your attention gently stay inward. Is there any place in your body that feels tight? Uncomfortable? Like it's asking for space? You don't need to change it. You're just noticing. And gently ask yourself, is there a situation, a person, or a pattern connected to this feeling? Somewhere you've been pushing past yourself, minimizing what you feel, or telling yourself it's no big deal. And we'll take a few quiet moments here for journaling. If you'd like to see the journaling prompts, you can check out the worksheet that's in the description. The questions are, where in my life have I been overriding what my body is telling me? What does discomfort feel like in my body when something isn't right? And what have I been telling myself in order to stay in that situation? So we'll take about 5 minutes here. You're always welcome to share in the chat. And then we'll continue on. Overriding means ignoring. So you might notice you feel something in your body like bracing or uncomfortable, and you ignore it and you continue being in that uncomfortable situation, regardless what you're feeling. And I think I missed saying hi to a couple people. Hi, Miss Lee, Melissa, Jay Green, hello. Sacred jewels. Indelible. Thank you for being here. Aaron, thank you for sharing in the chat. Hi, Priscilla. Hi, Victoria. So we'll spend about one more minute here reflecting on these questions. If you're ready, we'll go ahead and continue. So you can put the worksheet or your notebook to the side. Maybe just noticing what came up for you without judging it. And if you're noticing that some of these patterns feel really familiar, especially with family, you're not alone in that. And sometimes the reason this feels so hard is because these patterns are learned so early in life, with relationships that we had to stay connected, even if it meant leaving ourselves. This is something that I'll be holding some more space for on Sunday around the mother wound, because this is where a lot of this lives. So now that we've spent some time listening inwardly, we're going to gently shift into honoring what your body is asking for. Not in a big or overwhelming way, in a way that feels supportive and possible. So I invite you to bring to mind that situation again. That place where something hasn't felt quite right. Where you've been pushing past yourself. Maybe staying longer than you want. Saying yes when your body is saying no. Gently asking yourself, what is one boundary here that my body is asking for? Something I've been ignoring or minimizing. Let this be something that's felt, not something you're thinking or creating in your mind. Rather, your body is showing you. Boundaries don't have to be something big or dramatic. It can be very small. Like ending a phone call when you feel done, or not over explaining yourself. Leaving a gathering when your body feels overwhelmed. Not engaging in a conversation that doesn't feel good. Taking some space instead of responding immediately. It can be small steps, but very meaningful. And as you are imagining yourself in that situation, start to shift your focus inward, listening to your body. Noticing what your body is asking for. Noticing what your body needs. And from that place, gently allowing yourself to respond differently. Maybe you say something like, I'm going to go now. Or I'm not available right now. Or simply choosing to step away. No over explaining, no justifying. Just an act of self honoring. Let that scenario play out in your mind. And as you imagine yourself doing that, just notice what happens in your body. Maybe it feels empowering or relieving, unfamiliar, maybe even uncomfortable or neutral. And all of that is okay. And you're not doing it wrong if it doesn't feel perfect. You're doing something new and your body is learning. Your body's learning it's safe to listen and to respond. Let's take a few minutes to deepen this. And we're at journaling reflection number 2 if you're following on the worksheet. If you just joined and need the worksheet, it is linked below in the description. The questions are, what did it feel like in my body to imagine honoring this boundary? What emotions or sensations came up as I played this out? And what feels like one small, real life step I can take to begin honoring this. So we'll pause here for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back. You're always welcome to share in the chat if that feels healing for you. David, I see you put neck in the chat. Is that where you're holding your tension? Is that where you notice a response when you're in a situation and you need to create a boundary? Let's go ahead and come back together. Just noticing your body again. And recognizing I don't have to ignore myself anymore. So tonight isn't about doing boundaries perfectly. It's about no longer abandoning yourself. So I do see your question in the chat. Does honoring a boundary include finally doing things you like, reading books, buying snacks, spending money on interests you like? I still feel guilty about doing these things. I think they're related to what you're saying. I think it's self-honoring. You're listening to what you enjoy and letting yourself partake in that. I think that can be related to a boundary. A boundary usually includes another person and includes changing your behavior, not the other person. So if what's coming up for you feels deep and connected to early relationships, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of this lives in those early imprints. Especially with our mothers, where we learned what was safe, whether we could trust ourselves. And if you are finding a link back to your mother or find it difficult to hold boundaries with your mom, we're going to continue exploring this on Sunday. And for many people, the relationship with your mom is complicated. A mixture of love and pain, gratitude and sorrow, happiness and confusion. And And when we need to set a boundary with our mom, it can feel impossible. Because it takes courage and it takes honesty. And even then, it can leave you second guessing yourself. Am I asking too much? Maybe I'm not doing this right. Should I be feeling guilty? So on Sunday, we're going to slow that down. We're going to begin to understand. We're going to explore patterns, why it feels hard to set boundaries, and why you feel guilty when you do. And you might feel more connected to your own needs and your own truth. And if this resonates with you and your experience with your mom, I've pinned a link at the top of the chat, and I'll also put a link in the chat right now for anyone that feels called to check that out. I see a couple of comments in the chat. Let me go back and look. Hanging up the phone when I want to. Yes. Yep. That is a perfect boundary. To say, I'm ready to get off the phone. Ready to go. I'm done talking. Does the process get quicker at some point? I feel like I often don't recognize the issue where a boundary is needed until later. I'd like to learn to see it at the time so I can respond differently. Yes. Yeah. The more you get connected with your body, you'll start feeling it in real time. So I would say the first step is the awareness. It's being in that situation, in that conversation, being with that person, and you come back to your body and you're like, oh, I feel this tension. I feel this part of me saying no. And you stay with that and you honor that in real time. And I would say the second layer of that is then responding and creating the boundary. So once you start being aware in real time that your body's responding and is needing a boundary, the second layer is actually creating that boundary. And it can be small, like we're saying, it can be getting off the phone. It can be, let's use the snacks that was brought up. It can be buying your snacks that you want. It can just be a polite no. I'm not available. It can be taking space before you respond to a text or an email. Maybe you take 2 days, 3 days. That's self-honoring. Okay, someone said I just blocked my mom on everything, been that way for years, feels amazing. And if that's a boundary that feels good in your body, then you're doing the right thing. Yeah, your body will tell you when you need a boundary. Your body will tell you if the boundary feels good. Your body will tell you if the boundary needs to be adjusted. You just gotta slow down and listen. So before we close, let's take another moment and notice your body right now. What feels the same? And maybe what feels a little different. I want to thank you all for being here and for listening and beginning to trust what's inside of you. And that's where your boundaries come from. And for tonight, your work is complete. I will stick around for a few minutes. Happy to chat and answer some more questions about tonight or boundaries or about the workshop on Sunday. And if you have to go, thanks for coming tonight. It's always a pleasure. When I was building a boundary with my father and he started to get out of hand, I started with love. I love you, Dad, but I have to get going now. The more lucid he stayed, the longer I lingered. Oh, yeah. I really built a good relationship as I got older. Thank you, Joan. Thanks for being here, Joan, and sharing. Yeah, it can be hard to stay calm and regulate your nervous system when you're dealing with dysregulated people or someone that's being really reactive. Thank you, Joan. Appreciate you. About Harry Potter. The first two chapters resonate hard with people who have dysfunctional families. Does Harry Potter come from a dysfunctional family? I think I've seen one of the movies, but I am not a Harry Potter fan. I'll have to just take your word for it. Sacred Jewels, I'm already registered. All right. Great. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. David, yes, I hold my stress there, it seems, in your neck. Good. So that's good awareness that you can kind of pinpoint where you're holding your stress and maybe just start noticing when you're in conversation or in a situation and where you feel it. Like, is it coming up in your neck? Is it showing up somewhere else? Just taking that pause to notice. Miss Lee, what if the boundary feels necessary but is complicated with guilt? It doesn't necessarily feel entirely good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let me read this out loud. What if the boundary feels necessary but it is complicated with guilt? It doesn't necessarily feel good in the body. Exactly. So your nervous system has learned in the beginning that setting a boundary, speaking your truth is dangerous and it costs you relationships. So over time, your body, your system, your nervous system has learned just be quiet, go with the flow, don't speak up. So when you speak up, it's now your nervous system is now saying danger, danger. And also the guilty part's coming from people pleasing. And when you're all of a sudden putting yourself before someone else's needs, it's where the guilt is coming. And you're not doing anything wrong. You're actually doing something right, but it's unfamiliar. It's new. So you have to keep practicing it until your nervous system says, oh, I'm not in danger anymore. I'm still safe. And putting yourself first is going to take some time to get used to as well. If you're coming from a place of people pleasing, because you're so used to putting other people's needs, wants, and wishes for your own. So it's just, it will take time. And the first few times you do it, your nervous system's going to go, ah. But it'll get better. It'll get easier. And I actually, at the end of this month, I'm doing a workshop on taking care of your body after you set a boundary for this exact reason. This exact thing that we're going to be covering is taking care of your body after you set the boundary, because it doesn't feel good always. So thank you for bringing that up. We go back to the chat. Misty, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Jenny, thank you for being here. Melissa, tonight was my favorite session so far. I feel like my struggles with boundaries are a lot more common than I realized. Thank you all for sharing. Thanks, Sally. Appreciate you. Thank you, Melissa. Glad you found this beneficial. Thank you for being here. The movies don't go into the gritty details. The books let you marinate in that horrible feeling for an hour. It's really therapeutic, weirdly. I'll trust you on that. I don't foresee myself sitting down and reading a Harry Potter book. So I'll have to trust you on that. And if it feels therapeutic for you, then go for it, man. Miss Lee, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Well, I just want to say thank you all for being here. I've really enjoyed your presence and your questions and just spending time with you and just slowing down, reflecting. How to handle sadness from alcoholic parents. Well, that feels like a big question. Dang7795, you're welcome to email me and tell me more about it. And I'm happy to email you a response back. I'll put my email in the chat. If you'd like to reach out, I'm happy to talk more about that. Jay Green, thank you, Nellie. Nice bodies can't talk. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here. Namaste. Sacred Jewels, thanks for being here. All right, everyone. Have a good evening, and I will see you in a future session. Good night, everybody.